Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we are going to start on making this Katan style helmet for my sister-in-law. As you can see, I had to print it in 4 different parts, 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one is still printing right now. But it's about to be done, and then I'm going to tape it together, just like this one, make sure everything lines up, and I'm gonna melt it together like I did the top. So we're gonna melt it together and sand it today, and then maybe do the first coat of primer, or at least see what it looks like when it's sanded and see if I need to do like wood filler or something to take away some of these print lines and blemishes. This is my first 3D printed helmet that we're gonna be making. So I made this one out of a 5-gallon bucket and a hard hat, and I made it look like kind of Borderlands style. If you wanna see that video, it's up here or in the description or something like that. But this one's super basic. It's literally just a hard hat, put some foam, and then a 5-gallon bucket that I cut and caulked together. So this was very budget friendly. If you have a bigger printer than this, you can skip all these steps of having to form them together and all that, because you'll just be able to print the whole helmet. But I have an Ender 3, so it's small, so I have to do them in like 4 parts. But melting it together isn't really that big a deal, and it's kind of fun. So yeah, we wait for the piece to print, and then I'll put on a GoPro or something, and we can watch me melt this and sand it, and see if we're gonna need to do wood filler on these print lines, because we don't want to see those lines when we start doing paint. And I think my sister wants it to be kind of metallic, so probably like here and back here will be metal, but then she wants like a cool pink color. So I'm excited to do it. I'm also really hoping that this fits her. It fits me, not with glasses on. It fits me. It's a little close here, but if it's tight on her there, I can always take a heat gun and kind of form all this out before I put the visor on, and just kind of open this whole front part up so that it doesn't poke the nose. Because that's the only part that seems tight, is like right on the bridge of the nose. So, but I have a big nose, so we'll see if it fits her better or not. But yeah, enough talking. Let's go get the other piece.
All right, so here's the other half that is printing for the bottom, and there's only 2 hours left, so it's almost done. And then once we get that done, then I got to get the soldering iron, and I'm going to also sand it and kind of smooth it out as much as I can. But make sure you wear one of these masks when you do it, because it's PLA, it's plastic, you don't want to breathe that stuff in. So get the mask, get the helmet, and now it's time to melt it together. So here I kind of just like cross left and right different ways, and then I melt it all together down the middle. And then if there's any big gaps, then you can get more filament and kind of melt it into it. But afterwards it kind of turns out pretty good, and it's actually really solid, almost like it was made into one piece. But now it's time to sand. So I got this one. This is 80 grit, so it's going to be pretty rough. And then I got the vent and the little antenna for the little eye thing printing right now. So yeah, let's get to sanding. All right, I sanded it with 80 grit, so it's not going to be super smooth, but it gets out kind of the bigger lines and edges that are popping out. I'm still probably going to have to use wood filler and then resand it with a higher grit sandpaper to get it a little bit smoother, but I'm actually not that upset with how it turned out. It definitely flattened out a lot of the bigger spots. I had one of those layer shifts when it printed for some reason, so getting rid of that was nice. So I tried using a higher grit to make it a little bit smoother, but I think I'm going to use plastic wood and thin it with acetone so I can kind of paint it on like paint. So I'm going to mix it in that, and then I'm going to put it all over the helmet, maybe the top, but probably the top and the face, and then I'll sand it again. Here I'm just mixing the acetone with the wood filler, because it kind of thins it and turns it into paint so it's not as thick. And then I'm just going to brush it all over this and fill in all those little cracks. You can put more or less. You can do multiple layers of this. It's just like paint when you put it on with the acetone, but it fills in all the cracks, and then you can smooth it and sand it really easily because it's almost like wood after that. It's really cool. I don't understand how they make these things, but it's going to be really cool. So I'm basically putting it over the whole thing, and then I'm going to sand it again. So here's what it looks like before sanding it. It's kind of rough, but you can tell it fills in the lines, and boom, after sanding it, you can still kind of see some layer lines, but you can tell it's way smoother, and it definitely feels smoother. So if you could touch it, you definitely know. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I got this printed out and glued. This is the piece that covers it once you put it on. Now I just got to put this vent on the back, and yeah, all that fun stuff. So it turned out pretty good. Now I'm going to do this primer, and then I'm probably going to sand it again after the primer. So this is it, finally primed. I sanded it again after I primed it, and it actually turned out really good. I forgot to glue on this until after I primed it, so I'm gonna have to spray it again.
Okay, so step one, boom, has been completed. I actually sanded it again after I did the first 2 coats of this primer, because it's a sandable primer, and it actually made it really smooth. So next step after gluing it, sanding it, priming it, doing all that, is actually figuring out all the colors. So I'll probably make a separate video showing me paint this. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope you enjoyed the process. And hopefully this helps me in my future builds as well to continue making better Mandalorian helmets. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.